Hello, good people. It's Rob Lee. First of all, I want to say this video is dedicated to James Ferguson. Your kindness is the core of this channel, and we thank you, sir. You're always kind, polite, and it does not go unnoticed. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and I know that many of the other people on the channel, they appreciate it too. Well, this is part two of a video. In part one, I thought that, and I'm nothing special, but I thought I did a pretty good job of proving to you that Mystery Babylon is Jerusalem. It has its origins in Jerusalem. And there are some things I wish I would have taught better when I went back and listened to the video. I thought that I should have did a better job of teaching spiritual Babylon, physical Babylon. But again, man, Revelation is a very hard book to teach. And I don't have all the answers, quite frankly. I'm still learning myself. So, in the second part of the video, I wanted us to talk about control, the control that Mystery Babylon has. And again, I'm going to preface the video by saying something to Google and to some Jewish people, and black people, brown people, everybody. This video isn't promoting hate in any manner, and Google knows this. The reason Google knows this, Google has people who have joined my channel and they formed like a fictitious friendship with me and the channel so they can spy. I mean, and no, I'm not saying my channel's special. I'm telling you that this is what really has happened. And I know this. I'm not going to get into how I know it, but trust me, I know it. But if Jewish people claim that we have the same creator, that we have the same Father, the same God, how could you possibly be against me teaching the Holy Father's word? If you say that Yahweh and Yahweh Shua, Jesus, and I know how you feel about Jesus, let's not pull any punches, but you say that we have the same Father. Why would you be against me teaching our Father's word? I don't understand that at all. It would seem like that you would be for somebody teaching the Father's word. Read. This video is not anti-black, brown, white, left or right. It's not anti-Islam, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, or any other people. So why do you censor me, Google? Why do you continue to censor me and people don't get their comments? I mean, I'm not part of any pro-right-wing, pro-military. I'm not a terrorist, a radical. Why do you continue to censor me? People have left my channel because they've told me that I'm not white enough. So hear this now. I'm not white enough for some people. I don't spew enough hate, but Google still, we have to censor him. What's that? I mean, what is that about? Google censors me for one reason only. Google knows that I follow the truth of Jesus Christ and the Almighty Father. They know this. They know that I follow the Father and the Son. This is why I am censored, for no other reason, people. No other reason. That's it. And because I've been fortunate enough that the Father has blessed me not with lies, but with truth. And this is why I am censored. This is the truth of why I am censored. Let's move on. Now, in the previous video, I put these 4 verses out here because I wanted to show you the Antichrist doctrine of how important it is. And you can read these verses on your own. But these are the people who deny Jesus Christ and what is said about them. When you deny Jesus Christ, you deny the Father, which means you have nothing. You have nothing. All right? Now let's think about the system that we are in. The beast system is so powerful, so strong, that churches are totally corrupt. This is John Hagee. If he's breathing, he's lying. And this is the truth. He's part of the beast system, and he works for Babylon. You see, this is the reality, the beast system that controls YouTube, the internet, and the online deception that teaches so many lies about the Bible. Because many people who are either in church or don't go to church, they seek on the internet, they seek online to try to learn something about scriptures. Now, how can anybody who has read the Bible not come to the conclusion that Jerusalem, and when it's over and over and over, Jerusalem killed the prophets? How can they teach you that the whore of Babylon, Mystery Babylon, is America, Mecca, or Rome? How can they possibly do it? Because they are under a delusion and the Father has put it there. This is the truth, man. This is where we're really at. Most of the internet is poison. I've told you guys over and over and over it's poison. Think about how strong the system is, that people would rather believe the system than actually believe the Bible, because that's what we did here with Jerusalem and killing the prophets in Mystery Babylon. People would rather believe the system than believe the Bible. Mystery Babylon has been revealed. Now it's just a question of who's the beast, who's the horns, who's the kings. It's that, because that's what it really is. Mystery Babylon is in Jerusalem, but it's spiritual Babylon. It means that it goes all over the earth. We talked about the 7 hills. Well, Seattle sits on 7 hills. Rome, Istanbul. There are many cities and towns all across the earth that sit on 7 hills. It does not make it Mystery Babylon because it sits on 7 hills. And the 7 hills is actually 7 mountains. And we'll get to the mountains later, what a mountain is in the Bible. I can't teach it all at one time. And we learned about the New Jerusalem. All right, this is the New Jerusalem that is coming down from heaven from your Father for us. This is a New Jerusalem for us. For us, a New Jerusalem. And then, again, everything that I taught you was from the Bible. I want to read something to you before we get started. It's important. We're not going to get into all of it today because, again, this video is about control. It's about, we learned who Mystery Babylon was, spiritual Babylon, and it's going to encompass the entire earth. And I want us to learn about the control that Mystery Babylon will have over the entire earth. But I want to show you something, and I guess that there's going to have to be a part 3. I had not planned on, quite frankly, there even being a part 2, but we'll go where the Father takes us. Revelation chapter 17, and I wanted to read 1 and 15. Because I kind of want to preface this teaching by showing you something, the how far that Mystery Babylon actually reaches. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. 15. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. Now, we've taught this before. This is the Mystery Babylon will be able to influence people, multitudes, nations, and tongues on a massive scale. This is the real power of Mystery Babylon. I want to read to you something else before we get to the core of the teaching. Revelation 17, and this is 3 and 4. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman, which is Mystery Babylon, sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So, the woman is riding a beast. Now, we know that the woman is Mystery Babylon. Okay, Mystery Babylon is a woman, and she is riding a beast, because for this woman to go where she needs to go to accomplish what she needs to do, she has to have a beast. A beast has to carry her. Well, eventually we're going to have to find out what that beast is. Actually, the word beast comes from the word therion, which means a wild, dangerous, venomous animal. So just think about that. And we know that Mystery Babylon is the mother of harlots and the abomination of the earth. We'll get into that too, but for now, I want to stay on point. I want us to stay with learning about control. So we just read that this is the great mystery is portrayed as a woman on the back of a scarlet beast. Now, we realize that this mystery power is at war with the kingdom of Yahweh and all nations of the Christian West and our faith. We are to understand that this is symbolic. This is the same battle which has been going on from the very beginning, people. From Genesis 3:14 and 15, I told you. And this beast is not a man. I know many of you have tried to teach that it's a man. No, it's not a man. It's not a man. I mean, I will tell you that much. It's not a man. Now, I know some of you may believe different. Listen, I'm willing to listen to you. I love being taught. If you can teach me and show me that I'm in error, please do so. But I've never thought the beast was a man. It just doesn't make sense. No man could have that much power. It's a system of power over political, economic, religions, and social programs, and so forth. It is, in fact, the program of what the 4 verses that we looked at earlier of Antichrist. You see, because that's what it all comes down to, is anti-Jesus Christ, anti-Father, anti-us. That's how you can really, if you really, to truly understand it, what you have to understand is, what is this beast system trying to do? It's trying to destroy us and wage war against the children of Jesus Christ, his flock, the children of the Almighty Father, and they want to do away with everything that we are about. That's what's really going on here. So let's move forward, and we're going to continue to look, and we're going to get into the control of Mystery Babylon. Now, I can't bring any of you, none of you, not one single person can I bring you to the truth. I can help you, you can help me, we can help one another, but I cannot bring you to the truth. And John 6:44, 45, and John 6:65 proves this, and you can read it for yourself. We'll read 65. And he said, this is the words of Jesus Christ, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. So your Father has to give you the gift to come to Jesus Christ, which is the truth personified. So you only get this from the Almighty Father. You don't get it on your own. You get it from the Father. Let's move forward. So Scripture is still being discerned. We're still learning as we go in these last days, and we will continue to learn together in these very last days, which are complex, complicated, and trying. Eventually, we will get deeper into prophecy and the book of Revelation. We will talk about kings, horns, beasts, kingdoms, mountains, the United Nations, Asian hordes. That's so important. I can't get into it in this video, but brother, it's more important than what most of you understand. Asian hordes. When we were almost conquered, the very last time that Christianity was almost conquered, it was by Asian hordes. And the Father turned them around, and he sent Genghis Khan back home. He sent him back home because we would have lost. We'll learn more about harlots, Catholicism, Judaism, Hinduism, Brahmanism, and all the branches of. And we will also have to look at history. It helps when you have some understanding of history. And we'll talk about the symbols of the Bible and of Revelation. We must remember that prophecy is being fulfilled right in front of our eyes, and no one person knows it all. Jerusalem is the center of Mystery Babylon, but we're talking about a spiritual Babylon. Original Babylon, which is in modern-day Iraq, was destroyed, and it was never to be rebuilt. Therefore, we will have to go together, and we will learn together, and we will help one another as we continue on our journey of waiting for our King Jesus Christ. I welcome all your comments. I want you to help one another, and if you see that I am in error, please correct me. And some will say, we really don't need all this prophecy. We just need Jesus. And they're right. They are right. That's all we really need is Jesus Christ. That's true. However, discerning the times is important to some children of the Father, but certainly not to all. So let's go forward and let's talk about control that Mystery Babylon has on this earth. And as always, the best teacher is the Father's Word. So as we talk about Mystery Babylon's control, we have to go and read the Scriptures to see what kind of control is it talking about. What kind of control is it talking about? Because control is a powerful word when you control something. Jesus Christ is the judge, you be the jury, and you tell me if you think that I'm on par with what the truth is. Revelation 18. Now we're going to read these scriptures, and then we're going to look at what is the control. And I think when we get to the end of it that you'll understand. Revelation chapter 18, and after these things I saw an angel come down from heaven having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory, and he cried mightily. Now notice that the angel cried mightily. I pay attention to small things like that the angel cried mightily with a strong voice. Why? Because he's making a point, power. And he's saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now on my channel, I've showed you devils in the flesh, man. We've seen them. Many people think that we're crazy, that we're foolish. Again, it goes back up to John 6:44, 45, 65, 66. We can't bring them to the truth. We just can't. Now, if we go over to 3, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So Babylon has great power, great power. And in number 4, I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues." Your Father's not telling you to come out of Jerusalem, because spiritual Babylon is all over the earth. And notice that the Father says, "Come out of her, my people." The Father's talking to his people, my people. He says, "My people." Number 5, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities." Revelation 6:18, 6, 7, and 8. "Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her to double." Your Father is going to put a whooping on him, an old-fashioned whooping that's going to last for eternity. And this is why so many hate him and hate Jesus Christ. We'll get into that later. "How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her." You better believe it. Let's move on over to 9, because we're going to get to the control part. "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, in 1 hour is that judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more." Now, let's go to number 12. Now we'll really start to see where the control comes in. Now, I want you to think about your life now, modern time, and take these words and apply them to what they are in modern time. That's what you have to do with much of the Bible. You have to take it and you have to apply it to your life in this time. Revelation chapter 18:12. "The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet." Now, purple is a color, and it means royalty. It means power. Scarlet means sin. "Silk and scarlet, and all thine wood, and manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men." I mean, that's a lot of power. I mean, this Mystery Babylon is controlling everything on earth, right? Revelation chapter 18, 14, 15, and 16. "And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing." 16, "And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." 17, 18, and 19, "For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto the great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason for her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate." They're losing money. The money's being gone. No more profit. They killed the prophets, but now the prophet's gone. 20, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her." The Almighty Father is paying back this wretched beast, this wretched system, for what it's done to his people. "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the seas, and thus with violence," let me repeat it for you, "thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Thus with violence, huh? 22, more control of what they control. "And the voice of harpers, musicians, and of pipers, trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee." Sounds like to me saying no more music, no more construction, no more manufacturing. They're losing control of this. You do see that, right? Let's go further. Revelation, now we're going to go to 23 and 24, and then I'm going to show you how it breaks down. 23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth, because it goes all the way back to Genesis and Cain. That's why it says that. And I told you that in the first video. But let's go back and look at 23 for a minute. I want to show you something. It says, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Now, the word sorcery, let's learn. In your Strong's Concordance, there is two different meanings for the word sorcery. One is 3095, which means magic. It means to cast a spell. It's craft of demons. The other one, which is being used here, is 5331, and it means pharmacy. It comes from the Greek word pharmakia. It means as in potions. Potions, get it? So it's poison, as in another word, it's the pharmaceutical industry. How amazing that Jesus Christ is telling you that in the end times, one of the grossest and most evil, hideous monsters on this earth would be the pharmaceutical industry, because through their medicine, not natural medicine, not medicine that some of us have tried to learn on our own, but through their medicine, they have done so much damage to people through their pills. And Jesus Christ is calling them out for it. And I'm talking about legal and illegal. He's calling them out right here, the pharmaceutical industry. Let's go further. Let's go back to number 12 and 13. Now you will read again that this is the merchandise of gold and silver, stones, pearls, linen, silk, scarlet, wood, ivory, manna, precious wood, brass, iron, marble, cinnamon, odors, ointments, oil, wine, flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and even the souls of men. Even the souls of men. And the voice of the harpers and the musicians, pipers, trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. No craftsman, and the sound of the millstone shall be no more heard at all in thee. What is this? This is commerce. Who controls commerce? Mystery Babylon controls all commerce. You can see its control over all things on this earth, from medicine, church, money, technology, academia, real estate, water, travel, electric, all entertainment, politics, food, military, health, construction, media, internet, agriculture, kings, so-called leaders, and more. And if I've left out anything, please tell me, because I'm sure there's so much more, because this is what the Bible was telling you in those verses, that Mystery Babylon literally controls the entire damn world. They control everything. And your Father allows it. He allows it. So now let's go forward and let's look. Let's look at some pictures of what Mystery Babylon controls. And then at the very end, I will tell you what is going to become of Mystery Babylon. And we've actually already read it. Your Father's going to destroy it. But what does Mystery Babylon fear? They have to have some sort of a fear. Sure they do. But for now, let's look at everything that you're going to look at. Either Mystery Babylon controls it, or they are responsible for it. And that is the God's honest truth from the scriptures. I'll see you at the end of the video. God bless.